Welcome to Wordpath, the show about Oklahoma Indian languages and the people who are teaching and preserving them. My guests tonight are Parrish Williams and his brother John Williams, who are both native speakers of the Ponca language. I visited with Parrish Williams yesterday at his home near Marland, Oklahoma, south of Ponca City. Parrish, Ati.
Oh, Ati. Yeah, Didi.
Well, I want to thank you for inviting us here today, and I understand you're going to take us up and show us the rivers and some of the area here where you grew up.
We did talking on Greek. I had deep on like it. David, the Delva, Niska. Idealno, Nigide, Gatti, Niska, Nigide, Idealno.
Did you just explain where you're taking us?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to take you.
Okay.
They Niska, Idealno, they Niska.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to it. Thanks.
This is where my wife used to cook during the summer. For dinner and supper. And we eat out here. Breakfast she cooked in the house. That's where I was born, that house there.
Oh, that house right here.
I was born in the southwest corner of that house, on the inside. The place over there, that's where we used to live there. That's where we used to have an arbor. The arbor was poured down. But that's where my wife used to cook. We didn't have this house. That's when we have feed here, feed people, and the old oven, and then boilers there. My daughter-in-law lives in there. Our daughter-in-law lives in that house there. Then my niece lived in that house. Then other niece, Cynthia and Priscilla. Then Priscilla's children's got a trailer house there. But that was the wishes of my grandfather. He didn't want to leave us with nothing, like other people, I guess. He had he thought that far ahead. He didn't say, I'm going to leave it to your mother, because that was his only child. I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to leave it to your grandchildren, so you have some place to go to one day. Now we all got, those of us that don't have no place to go out there, we come back here and live on it. That was his thought. Yeah. It's the same thing that my father told me. He said, I'm getting old, son. And that's what he was telling me. I'm getting on, I'm going to turn everything over to you. So I told my boy that inside the sleep tree. That, son, now, this is as far as I could bring you children. Get away. She's a pet. Yeah, then I told her, this is as far as I could come. I brought you children, your brothers and sisters. And I've done what I could. Now I'm getting up in the age where I can't do those things anymore, just the way my father taught. So I'm going to turn my children, your mama's children, descendants, I'm going to turn them over to you, that you could take them on. Just the way that my father, now if you can't do nothing for them, material-wise or physically, but spiritually, at least say something good to them. And I'll be satisfied. And then this place here, I'm going to leave this place for all the children. Whenever they have problems, they can come over here and come home here. This bar place here. That's an altar where they can bring their, just like a church. They can bring their problem here, come in there, because a lot of people come here and pray inside of that circle there. And we all say they leave their prayers. They leave their good will, good feeling, and good thoughts around this far. That far, it's a witness to what people said. Now, we call it Grandpa. That far that stands there, we call it Grandpa. That Grandpa, he sits in the middle of us there. Then whatever we say to God, he takes that message to God for us. And that's the reason why that far is there, that we sit around there. Everybody comes in there. We say when they come through that door, we each have a problem. But the problem that brought us here, we're going to concentrate on it during the course of the night. But then somewhere down the line, we're going to tell our problem to God in here. And that's what this place is all about here, with the altar here. We sat in there all night, and we partake of that PO. Yeah, we take it. And, I've been in this church here. I call it Native American Church. I've been in there this year. I'll be December the 31st. Well, January 1st, 1997, I'll be in here 60 years. And yeah, they've been good people. I'll say they're good people. They're humble, they're caring, sympathetic, and pitying people. And that's where they've done. They showed me that.
When you're around the fire, do you pray in Ponca language?
Well, no, not. I told a nephew of mine to do that. I don't know. Used to back in, I guess after 1960. Now all them people that I've sat in there, Ponca people that I sat in there with, they're all gone. I'm the only one left in that teepee. That's older, elderly. All the rest of them young people. They talk English.
Now, where are we now exactly, Parrish?
Salt Fork River.
Okay. And it runs into the Arkansas down that way, further down there?
Yeah, it goes around the bend. And then when we get through going over here, then we'll go on top of the hill where it runs into the Arkansas.
Okay. Great.
It's like somebody's swimming down there or something. That's where we swim, right where what I'm talking about.
Oh.
They put this up here with a rock masonry. They got a rock masonry, and then 3 farmers, they helped put that. That's the WPA building.
Did you go to school here?
Huh?
Did you go to school here?
Yeah, I went to school when that frame house was here. I went here 2 years. I had to escort my brother John, but he didn't go to school till he was about 10 years old. See that tail over how big he is? Very big one. About that over beach there. That's a young man. It empties into the salt, that river, the picture you took back there, it empties into right over here into the Arkansas. And what you see here now, that's the 2 rivers, the Arkansas and the Salt Fork.
Okay.
The Arkansas comes from Colorado. Then the Salt Fork here, it starts from western Oklahoma. Western Oklahoma, then it's kind of Oklahoma right down there. So there's 3 counties right in this area here. Yeah. That's really beautiful across the river. West side of it. I used to walk over there. I used to walk over there, then right at the end of them trees, there's a big old rock. I sat on top of it. I could see all over.
Wow.
It's even Tonka wall from that hill.
Oh,
yeah, that, especially in wintertime, I could see a long ways. Then I'd sit over there, then I'd walk back along the river. I'd walk through the river. It takes me about, 3 or 4 hours. It's about 5 miles from here, from my home to that place over there.
That gives you an idea of the area where both of my guests grew up, the brothers Parrish Williams and John Williams. Let's meet them now in the studio. First, to my immediate right is Parrish Williams. He, as you saw in the tape, he's been very involved in the Native American Church, and in fact, he was involved in the famous hearings in Portland, Oregon a while back as to the availability of peyote to Native American Church members. And his brother, John, was for several years president of the American Indian Exposition in Anadarko, and he was also Indian Man of the Year in Anadarko in 1990, and I'd like to welcome you both as my guests. Thank you for coming. I'd also like to welcome our audience members. We have some relatives and friends who came along to watch the show tonight. We have John's wife, Ruby. She's second from the right. She's a member of the Kiowa tribe, and to her left is Kathy Shea, who's a linguist who's been studying with Parrish Williams up near Ponca City, and she's at the University of Kansas. And then over on the left end, we have two great-great-grandkids of Parrish's, Adrian and Angela. Thank you all for coming. Now, to start us off, Parrish and John, could you sort of demonstrate to us? I usually ask my guests, how would you greet someone in your language? Perhaps you could greet each other and then kind of explain to us what you've said to each other.
Aho.
Aho, yeah.
Aho, Kagyo. And I like, he's my brother. I could say, Aho, Kage Sangyo. Uda latite, Uda. Along he lati. Idada gaga, Egon laite. Wahwa uitita tahiega. Zegon. Ati igana, edi awipe. Okay, awipe ila no hihti, ede shajihti, ze lati. Okay, they wan, Ponca wan. Jean Wickham like, edwa indada de delbachushka duate, edi ambahatate, edi juigi de kambla. Eva de lati te non de welkish na kagyo.
Gene, mata ke ga ke winegi we umane kahashi ge de dinga bashi te di tiama pahi tangande tiama pahi te de wa ga ke ia and we wita Papa ate wang gage on to gage she got the gage wang I think wang gage we matike
No da.
wakanda talisha wang yeah.
Would you mind summarizing briefly for us what you've said so far?
I was telling, I was thankful my brother accepted where you invited me to come over here. Then I asked him to come along with me to help me. And then maybe this song that he's going to sing, to come over here and sing to help. And I was thankful that he accepted. I know he had other things to do, and maybe, but then him coming over and accepting, I really appreciate it. That's what I was telling him. I thank you, brother. Kagyu, I was telling him that. So
Him being my oldest brother, well, I addressed him first and what I'm going to sing. You know, this song that I'm going to sing, it was sung to me by an uncle of mine. His name was Snake Elk. He said that these are my brother-in-law. My dad was his brother-in-law. He said, I heard him singing these songs, and he said, I want to sing one of them to you. He said, yeah, so that's what.
We'd be very honored to hear it. Thank you.
It says, God, Wakanda means God. He's the only one that has given us humanity, something that was this land, give us this land, and then after he's had done that, uhe wa'i, this what we're following, through the Bible, that all the things that he laid out for us to live by and all that, that's what those words, and it said. Do you want another song?
We would love it. My father was a very religious man. He went to school and took up Christianity, and he was ordained up there somewhere out east, and he told us to, but now we forget a lot of things. But this is one song here that in the Bible, it gives a verse or two there that Christ, when he was coming into a town, and he was coming on a donkey, and this priest or whomever, he went out there, seen him coming. So this is what, a gentleman is coming, and that's what the words says. Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you for singing for us. Either of Parrish or John, maybe you could explain a little bit for people who aren't very familiar with the Ponca tribe or the Ponca language. Where is the Ponca language spoken? What is the Ponca area in Oklahoma in general? What towns or counties would you find Ponca speakers in mostly?
Well, not like, we're just a small tribe in numbers. Then that Ponca language, now me and my brother, we used to talk it real fluently, but then recently, and then I've been telling people recently, since after the World War II, I guess, somewhere, now we've been, I guess by going away from the reservation, a lot of our children left after World War II. Then they got with other people. Then they had to talk some way to communicate with people.
Right.
And then it's through this English language. Then some of them stayed away for a good number of years. Then when they come back, well, then they talk this language here, this English language. And very seldom we talk Ponca. And there's just a very few of us that talk Ponca fluent, like my brother here. And I don't think we could carry on a continuous conversation in Ponca, because that's how much we've lost our language is getting away from us.
I know we were talking over a meal earlier today about approximate, I was asking you for estimates of how many Poncas there are and how many speakers.
Yeah.
I think we were saying about 2,300 members of the tribe.
That many.
And how many of those would be able to carry on a conversation completely?
Well, tell the truth, none of them would be continuously
because everybody uses English.
English language
but
today.
How many would you consider basically
today?
very
I would
fluent
say
speakers?
around about 30. I think that's what we figured. A little over 30 plus could talk. We were to get them together to talk Ponca. Even then, well, then like I'll tell Cassie, some lady that comes over to the house there. There's a brother-in-law of mine comes over, about 10, 15 years ago, we used to talk Ponca continuously. But seemed like now, well, then when he comes and visit, well, half of the time we talk English. That's how fast this language is getting away.
Yeah.
And I know it's that way with other tribes.
Yes.
Other tribes, this language. And I always appreciate, and like you and Cassie, trying to revive some portion of our language.
I sure would like to see the Ponca language continue and
what
children
other languages?
growing up with it again.
Because
all of them, yes.
I was just telling you the other day, yesterday, by losing our language, we're losing our identity, then our culture.
But what aspects of the culture in particular? Obviously, these songs, a person can't properly appreciate songs if they don't understand the words.
Understand that.
What other kind of areas are important for Ponca language? Where, in other words, if you lose the language, what else do you lose? What are the connections?
Of our language. Well, then, that identity, one of the main things, identity. Because now, like I was telling Kathy, now I was telling her about it. And then, now, like if I was sitting here and I was saying, oh, well, I was a Ponca. Well, then there'd be another Ponca sitting there. Well, can you talk Ponca? And then I tell him, well, I don't know whether I could talk Ponca or not. Well, then he doesn't know whether I'm a Ponca or not because I can't talk this language. And it's a kind of a universal thing. That's what I was telling Cassie. Because we all lost our language.
I know so many tribes are in the same boat.
Not only the Indian, but then the people here in the United States have lost their language by talking this English language. That's what now, like we was talking, Cassie, now she said her grandfather, I think, come from Italy. And then like, she would like to go back and, visit that Italy. So that it's kind of a universal thing.
Yeah, I think we all kind of want to maintain contact with our own roots.
Yeah, and then it's a sad situation. It's a sad situation that we're in now today. So then that's what you're asking me, that this language here, because we all lost our language. People here in the United States. Now we have to admit that. That we've all lost our language. By losing our language, we lost our culture and then our identity. So that's what I want to say about it.
You've mentioned my friend Kathy Shea a few times, who's a linguist who's working on learning the Ponca language with you as her teacher. I wanted to ask you a little bit about that collaboration because I know sometimes for good reason, Indian people who speak their language are a little suspicious of people who want to come in from the outside and learn their language. They want to know, well, why do you want to learn it? And sometimes people find it difficult to understand that people like Kathy and me just really appreciate and treasure these languages that are in danger of being lost, and we do want them to survive, and we want to understand how the languages work and so forth. What went through your mind when you thought about becoming her teacher?
Well, I appreciated her when she come up. Like that boy that introduced her to me. Now, several times there at home, they've had this English Ponca language classes, but I don't know why they never did include me. Yeah, I'd be excluded from that. Even my sister Martha, you heard about my sister Martha.
I've heard her on tape.
Grass. Yeah, then she had that first class. Then why she didn't ask me to come over there? Because I'm interested in my language. That's one of the things that, like I said, it identifies me as Ponca. When I talk Ponca, well then this person over here hears me, well that man there, he talks his language. And that language is Ponca. So that's my identity. Then I'd like for my two little grandchildren. And I'm going to try to take them home, and I'll tell Kathy, but I'm going to try to learn them.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I have to be the one so they can keep their identity.
Listen carefully now.
Yeah, so they keep.
Well, they're of an age that they can learn more easily than us adults. Anyway.
Yeah, adults. Yeah, that's
easier for them.
I found that to be true. The little child, they could learn a lot quicker by introducing that to them. Well, then when they grow up and have children, what tribe are you? I'm a Ponca. Well, can you talk your language? Well, then they can go ahead and say some words in Ponca. But then that's their identity. Yeah, so that's the thing that I appreciate. Like you, I heard you were there in Ponca with the woman there, And
Yeah, I was meeting with a group of Ponca women,
Yeah,
which
so-
brings up an interesting point. We won't have long to get into it because we're nearing the end of our show, but there is, and I've mentioned this before on the show, there is a slight difference between Ponca as spoken by men and by women, right? And as
I'll
I
let
understand
my
it,
brother answer
there are a
that.
few words that are actually different words, like some of the kinship terms, but mostly it's a little marker you put on the end of a sentence for a man speaking versus a woman speaking. Is that correct? In other words, you all can certainly, obviously you can understand each other. You're all
Yeah,
Poncas and you
yeah.
all speak Ponca,
Ponca.
but there are these small but important differences, right? And that must be a very important fact as the number of speakers gets smaller. You were telling me a while ago if there are 30 or 40 or so speakers left, it also matters how many men speakers are left and how many women
Yeah,
speakers are
there's
left.
only
right?
about, out of that 30, probably there's only about, 10 probably, 10 men that around 80 or older. There's some of 75 like my brother here, but we call him an old man too now since he's getting up in 80 years bracket now. Yeah, so.
Well, as you mentioned, I was studying with a group of Ponca women for a while, so I'm more familiar with the women's speech than with the men's that you all would speak. But I certainly wish all the Ponca men and women the best of luck in their various classes and study groups, and I hope that you're able to connect up the elders who are fluent in the language with the children who are ready to learn, and let's hope that the Ponca language will survive.
Thank you.
And we're just about out of time now, I think, but I want to thank you again, both of you, very much. I really am honored to have had you as my guest.
Yeah, Augusta Lida.
Yeah, and
We really appreciated your coming. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Wordpath, and we'll see you next time.
Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita.